Welcome to the Inner Champions podcast. Would you like to promote your business so the world can find you? If so, follow us at Inner Champions Podcast on Instagram. Lastly, follow our current sponsors Tees Enchanted Trinkets on Instagram and The Real Talk with Jordyn.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Coach RJ? Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Thanks for doing this. This will be a second time, first time on this platform, and what have you. A little different, but thank you for doing this again, and I'm glad you're here. And so let's talk today.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I know it's been a while. It gets pretty busy, as you know, getting into coaching, and you do it year round too. So you kind of lose track of time every once in a while. You got to peek your head out of the work pool. Like when you're swimming, you got to get your head up every once in a while and look around and catch a breath, and then get
Yeah,
back into it. So yeah,
yeah,
appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
no problem. Anytime. I just appreciate, like you said on the last one, that it's hard to find people that I guess want to do this, but also at the same time be consistent. It's a very unique type of thing. People want, just for the audience that's listening, or will listen, I should say. It's not live right now, but just finding that knack of people that are willing to do this, and just open up more to the world of really what's going on out there, and that's the whole point of, I guess, why I brought Inner Champions podcast as a thing, because for years people wanted to know kind of what I did behind the scenes, but not really behind the scenes, and I'm bringing that to it, and I'm just glad you're a part of it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And it's important. I think, in any form of way you can connect with other coaches and spread positive ideas and, uh, talks or, anything like this. I think it helps because you never know. You never know who needs it. You never know who needs to hear,
Mhm.
certain things and what they're going through, especially for us, like coaching basketball, we're right in the middle of season. And season can be up and down, or depending on where you're at and how your season is going. Sometimes things like this can be pretty uplifting.
Can break it up for you,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
for sure. So yeah, on basketball. Speaking of basketball, I've been just from a distance. I've been to a couple of your games this year. They've been pretty awesome. Also, just through stats and max preps, I've been following you guys pretty close. You guys are holding your own. I think that you guys are in a really good position. I was looking at your schedule just before we got on, and not gonna lie, you got a pretty tough competition coming up. I love CSDR. I played them at the middle school level for years. They always give us the best competition, I think, in that, uh, you know, um, Riverside Park and Rec League. But I can't wait to see you guys compete with them upcoming and go from there.
Yeah, we got hit by the injury bug early in the
Oh,
year, and our senior guard has been hurt a little bit. He's finally kind of almost 100%, but not that he's our team, but he's a big piece of our, I think, confidence when he's on the court. And Albert is a great player for us, but not blaming that on our win-loss record because we found ways of winning. We found ways of winning without him. And with the young group that we have, um, we've also found ways to lose games.
sure.
So nonetheless, I think for our youth and how young we are, especially our bench, we're not very deep. Pretty young
Yeah, you're
players on
not.
the bench. Yeah, it's a great. Again, it just we'll continue the reloading versus rebuilding years. We just kind of continue to reload, and we just got to get better at closing out games. We do have a tough. We played them last year, School of the Deaf. They're amazing athletes, and it's. I think our guys kind of had that on the calendar marked down as a little bit of revenge. We gave a
Sure.
game. We gave away the game last year there, and so hopefully we redeem ourselves this year, and then we start league. Right after that on that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we start league at home
Nice.
against a great coach. They're young but greatly coached. Josh does a real good job over there at Hoopa Valley. Shout out to coach, and then then we have our rivalry game with Patriot. So
Nice. Yeah, I don't, in my opinion, and I haven't followed it as close in the past, but I don't think that you could led up to a better game. You have CSDR, then you go right into league, and equal or better competition, and obviously, as you would say, you'll see where you end up. But I think you guys have a great chance to make a run at some point.
Yeah, no, we do. I think a couple of the schools are a little bit down this year. They had a lot of seniors graduate last year, and not that we're banking on that. For us, it's we
No,
always focus on what we control, which is ourselves and our growth and our getting better every day, chipping away that just to fine tune our game at this point. And I mean, we do keep an eye on them, on everybody else in the league. Obviously, we scout, we do all that, and kind of prepare our guys to perform and put them in position to be successful. So, but we're excited. I think this year again, it's coming out and coming back. My third year as a head coach here, I think our culture just keeps getting better and better. We continue to find amazing student athletes on our campus that commit and fall in love with the grind and getting better on and off the court. And I think that's the bonus of winning. Is this the bonus, the bystander of everything else in our culture, in our program. And I can't thank enough the people that are around us, our coaching staff and our circle of support system on campus, through Mr. Jordyn and our athletic director and the parents. We have a really good group of parents, our boosters that do a phenomenal job for our kids and finding resources. So it's a tribe, man. It's for sure
yeah,
a village.
it takes a village, man. It takes a village.
Yeah.
It's a true statement.
Yeah.
Let's go back to your guard real quick. Did he have a chance to come back?
Yeah. He's been back. I think
Oh, he's been back. Okay.
Yeah, he came back about a week ago, and obviously, offensively, we've had some great put out offensive games where we've won over double figures, and it has to do a lot with him. He creates a lot, he does a lot, but I think even better is just his leadership on the defensive side. It's we've he's that kind of kid that goes after the best offensive player on the other side, and that's our backbone of our program. Is that right? We will make everybody earn every point they get. Offensively, I think again, it's just my opinion that coaches can find ways to create offenses and quick hitters and all that stuff to score points here and there. But when you have a team that just locks down on defense, blocks out rebounds, makes the other team earn every bucket, it's tough to win games against us that way. So, but Albert's back. He had a strong game last game against. We played Edgewood and we won in overtime on a buzzer beater. And we've been able to. He was able to perform well offensively and create plays, and But again, it's not just him. I think guys he elevates the play of everybody around him. So that's his. I think what his important or key part to bringing what he brings to the team is. He just makes everybody better.
He spreads it for all.
Yeah. So he's a very unique player for us, and we're lucky that he plays for us.
Is he a senior? Sophomore?
He is a senior. He is a senior. Man. Yeah, he had a phenomenal offseason. He did a little bit of travel ball, and he just had a lot of growth offensively, defensively, and I think it was a bummer, man. It happens. Injuries happen, and again, adversity, and we talk about how we all of us together as a team, we're able to kind of come together, and guys got to step up, and but that's the way things go, right? And that's life, and that's why I think sports are so important for our guys. I think it's that we always have an idea, we have a plan, but things happen, unseen things happen, and what guys step up, and then we lean on each other a little bit, but more, and that just strengthens our relationship amongst ourselves and our team and our program, and it's been fun. And they're just, and I tell this a lot to the other coaches. We play tough. We're a tough group of kids, but I think for me personally, they're just even more amazing human beings. They're great kids. Yes. They're great kids. We run a little developmental league for our community in the off season, and all these guys are a part of it, whether they're helping coaching, refereeing, and our parents are just taken back on how amazing of kids they are, so respectful. They help teaching the youth. They help giving back to the community. And on campus, it's just our staff, our teachers, our librarians, our office staff. They love our kids. They're just really good kids. And I think that's where, it kind of just full circle brings makes it just so much better, and more meaningful to provide and get these guys ready to play and win and compete at the highest level. So
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and branch off that for a second. Now that you bring that up, it's it's always been a thing for me, even at the youth level too. Yes, of course, every coach and everybody wants to win, but at the end of the day, the ultimate thing I think is like for you, because you do it at a high school level, is how can we get these kids to be not just good athletes, but good in the classroom, and in some cases even at the middle school level is what are these kids' life at home? Not all the times do we know, but we figure out through them and, by conversation, and we're not asking to know. And sometimes the students will feel comfortable enough to open up and let us know. And then we can mold around them. And like you said, with your great village, we'll just put it in those terms of not maybe you, but maybe one of your assistants, maybe, administrator can, help lean on someone and pick them up. So I think, before the wins and losses, that's what we're there for, but at the end of the day, I think more importantly, at any level, you're there for to just the well-being of your players and your program and all of that nature.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Don't forget to follow us on all the platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Thank you for listening to the show.
Yeah, 100%. I think for us, our coaching staff are really big about, we just had our Christmas, we had a workout and then practice before the day before Christmas Eve. And then
Nice.
we have a yearly coaches cookout. So coaches cook breakfast for the players. We have a chance to break bed and kind of mellow out the high intense training and practice or whatever, right? And so, and more be on a human level with them, right? Like we're just like you guys, right? We put one shoe on at a time.
Exactly.
We're human beings. We're husbands. We're
Yes.
brothers. We're nephews. Or sons to So like, I think on a human level with us, for them, it's to see them that even though, yeah, we're older, we're coaches and stuff, but we're also here to help and provide and guide and mentor, as men, talk about, you know, um, what it's going to be like as a man in the years to come, right? And why it's important that they figure out a way or work through things, whether it's winning or losing on and off the court. They know
Yeah.
that we're a support system for them and then help them structure, guide them through some of these things that they'll see as men, because it's, it is. That's a key component to our culture also. And we talk about that, um, with them a lot, right? Some in private talks, some
Of
in
course.
group talks, right? And so depending
Mhm.
on what situations may come up, but the idea is the same: is that they know that we are there for them in not just basketball talk, not just academic talk. It's on a human level. Like we get it. We're here to serve our community, and for some of our coaches on our staff, they're they're local coaches. They grew up in the community too. They played in our program. They grew up in the community where they understand it, on a human level, personal level, where they go to the same churches as these kids do. They serve in the same community. So
Yeah.
it just makes it more meaningful in a sense of like we were just like you guys. We walked the halls. We sat in those chairs. There's things that you'll encounter that you're not going to be ready for, but no matter what, you got to go through it. And you're not alone. And you have resources on our campus, not just basketball wise, but from our admin and our wellness center that we have on campus and stuff like that. So it's amazing to kind of have a full community behind all of our athletics on campus. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna just say it from afar. You can see that. Let's say more of the I don't want to call them outsources, but to me they're more outsources. They're really involved. They were all there. That they had like you said, everybody seems like they have a piece in it. And as long as you, as the head coach and the person behind the program, can build that and have that philosophy, and people can live out your philosophy and your um, some of your standards or some of your qualities, then it's gonna go a long way. You won't have to, let's just say, hand over fist these athletes. And I've been at some places, unfortunately, where you do. But I think sometimes, and even in those cases where that you do, you get closer to those people. But for you, I think right now, where you stand as a coach and as a human, like you mentioned earlier, you have it, right there, basically in your hand. This needs to change. Okay, we'll all agree we'll change it. And not everything's going to be like that. But what I want to make a point here is the fact that, um, you know, I, I just more importantly, and the reason I guess for even this podcast is people who can listen to this and understand that from one program it can go to another program, it can go to another school. You got to get the right person behind there. And I honestly, truthfully, not just because you're my friend, I really think that you are for Rubidoux and in the right spot for them. And I'm glad they have you, and hopefully you can carry it a long way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's it takes a lot. I we talk a lot with other coaches that are good friends of mine, and some are mentors because they've been doing it longer than I have. But um, the understanding that you're here to serve, the kids and build a culture of success, whatever that definition is for everybody's. Everybody's definition of success is different, right? But as long as you're there to serve the kids and guide them in the right direction, everything else kind of tends to take care of itself.
Mm.
We're now like a smaller school per se, right? And so I
I
think for
know.
us,
Comparatively, when I was growing up, it was one of the bigger schools.
yeah, we're now the smallest high school in the district, so it just gets tougher to get
It does.
more kids to come out and play, right? The number of kids is, just a numbers game, that less population, less kids, but we continue to provide, year round, basketball, a positive basketball environment. And, and I think that's where we just kind of, for us, at least in boys basketball, we continue to just push into the right direction, and I'm not just saying wins and losses, but again, it's
Of
just
course, yeah.
getting kids to, graduate obviously and go on and give themselves a chance to succeed in
Survive
life
in
with
life.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big one for us, right? And I think more now so than ever, we continue to need that for our kids and all kids, right? All youth. um and but again, it's a circle, man. It's a tribe, our group of people on campus, not just me, our coaches and our parents. And personally for me, it's my own family, right? Because they got to deal with a lot of absence and things, and
Yeah.
juggling multiple things at a time. And now that my boys are playing and stuff, that always complicates it. But it is, and just be grateful. I'm grateful for all those people that are there behind the scenes, giving me the chance and the opportunity to kind of be the person that is in charge of the program. But in reality, it's a lot more than just myself, and I
100%. Yeah.
want that to be known that I'm very grateful for those people. So
Yeah, so, I know in years past, and I'm sure it hasn't changed, you still do or you still have the all-around basketball
yeah,
over
so we still have our nonprofit, our all around playmakers. I've kind of taken a step back a little bit from running. So I started working for Nike basketball like 8-9 years ago, through Snow Valley basketball. Which, if people know Snow Valley basketball, it's one of the most influential basketball camps in the United States, and probably worldwide, to be honest.
Mhm.
But I was just a basket coach many years ago, and through Coach Resp over at Harupa Hills, another, talk about I don't want to say old dog, but an old coach that's been such a high basketball influencer, coaching wise. He's the one that got me started, and I just went to go work a basket at a camp one summer, and then it just, now in the last few years, I became one of the directors for Snow Valley, along with being a Nike basketball director, running camps. This last summer, I had the amazing opportunity to work with Diana Taurasi in the
Oh,
summer.
sweet. There you go.
It just, yeah, it opens up so many doors, which it led to me uh, having to create, our nonprofit, and running what we call around playmakers, to be able to bring back resources again to the Harupa community, to the Riverside community, and even though I've taken a step back from running camps, we do run our little ballers, which is our developmental league, in the spring and in the fall. We have always have special coaches, kind of like special camps where we have mini camps. We've been able to have some amazing coaches that have coached high level D1, WNBA, G League coaches, come back and have camps for our kids in our community. We do a lot of things that other people do not do in the Inland Empire, and provide an opportunity for young players from 6 to 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids, boys and girls, to be taught high level basketball, be talked about recruiting, be talked about what it is to be a professional athlete, for free, some of it, as long as they're a part of our developmental league. And then, work with some amazing coaches through Snow Valley and Nike basketball. Like I said, I don't know very many coaches that have worked with Diana Taurasi, who is probably the GOAT in women's basketball. And I mean, there's there's some other players that are probably better,
Sure.
are just as good. But I think, being that she just came off her retirement year and the things she did through basketball for an empire on the female side is amazing, right? And so, very amazing human being, down to earth, and high level basketball player, now wanting to coach. And so it's opened a lot of doors for me,
Was that out here in California? Or did you
it
have to
was
travel
in
there?
Snow. Yeah, it was the Snow
Oh,
Valley Girls
nice.
Camp up in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a week-long camp where we had about 100 girls from all over the country come out and spend a week with Diana Taurasi. And it wasn't your traditional, I'm gonna just show up and take pictures and shake hands and kiss babies on camera. It was like she did not want to leave the gym every day she was in there, and she
Even
was
after
hands on
retirement.
with the
So
kids and hands on with the coaches and hands on with the drills. So she was really big about giving back, a lot of detailed things to the players that were there, and I mean, and even the coaches that were there, right? Because we had we had an amazing coaching staff that
sure.
Coach Nagel and Coach Rivas put together too, and so we had our coaching staff had like 5 international professional players that were still currently playing, but just off, that were coaches. We had coaches that are now Division I assistant coaches, Division II assistant coaches, junior college coaches. It was an amazing group of coaches, along with Diana Taurasi. That was, just made it so amazing, very popular. And I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger as the summers come around. And so we've been able to, again, it's not just me. I was just a part of the puzzle, but yeah, it's been amazing, so All Around Playmakers continues to push forward and, provide resources for our kids in our community, and those in our city and in our county, in an empire. And we continue to kind of get better at it and grow it bigger, so but yeah, no, Nike basketball has been amazing. I'm not traveling as much. I kind of, my boys are getting older and they're playing, so I kind of have to be dad a little
Hard to
bit
split
more.
yourself in 2 pieces.
Yeah, I wish I could, right? Unfortunately, my wife wouldn't like that too much because she probably doesn't want 2 of me running around here. But but it's, again, it's provided so much for me and in the future of my kids and our program. My sons both play basketball and they're coming up and doing their thing, and they're only 9 and 5, but they get to be a part of the camps that we get to work and run, and direct, and so. We'll see where it goes, but yeah, it's again, basketball has done so much on a personal level, but for our family as well and for our community. So,
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna, I guess branch off of this too. The thing that I like to stress is it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's the connections. And I really think, like you were saying earlier, and all the great things that you've been able to do for Snow Valley, but more importantly, all the great things that Snow Valley's been able to open the doors for you, different opportunities, again, uh, Diana, for example, it's that's a I would think once in a lifetime. Okay, let's go, and just and have the pieces happen to fall, and were able to be there, and just more of those opportunities. I'm sure if you didn't, you were able to take your kids and see, so they could see that and see this is what you can get to if you so choose, in basketball or whatever it is in life. And like we were talking about earlier, it doesn't, as much as we're putting it around basketball, for me, I'm talking, kids who, and like I tell my younger athletes is that maybe basketball is not for you, but maybe it's the part of being on a team or organized program of again, what can we do the afterlife of high school, the afterlife of middle school, the afterlife of how can we impact someone's life, and I think that's really in your like let's just talk about you for a second. What it's done, Snow Valley's done for you is like you said a minute ago, just open doors and give you multiple opportunities, ample opportunities to see things, develop things, learn things, everything. And it's put you in a position to be where you're at Rubidoux right now. So
100%. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not always what you know, but who you know, and you continue to work and get better and be humble about what things happen, whether good or bad, right? You stay humble and you stay trying to get better at your craft. People tend to attract to that, right? And I think, or they like you enough, that they just say, hey, let's go and do this. And then it leads down a different path that just opens a bunch of other doors. And I think that's kind of what happened with Snow Valley that led into Nike basketball, and it's provided a lot. And again, it's just the experience of, part of it, I think, is relationship building.
Of course, yeah.
Who you are as a person, and people liking you, and then the knowledge that you bring, and the ideas you share too. I think as long as you're very passionate and honest about why you do what you do, and in regards to coaching, we don't always all get to coach Division I athletes or coach league championships or CIF title team programs, right? Those are very rare and unique, but it's, again, you're here to serve the youth, I believe, in my opinion, and prepare these kids to be successful in life and give themselves a chance to be successful, whatever that may be in life, whether they want to be, bakers or cooks or doctors or lawyers or teachers or coaches, But I'd say, I think, meeting some of these people that are very influential in regards to in our basketball world and education, coaches and teachers that I've been a part of and have worked with and under and have allowed myself to be mentored by have led me into this path that I'm in now, where I feel like there's always a lot for us to do. And like my summer's kind of planned out for next summer, because camps and Nike and our high school and Snow Valley, all these things, and somewhere in between there, I make time for family.
Yeah.
And that's the other part is I try to keep a balanced schedule in regards to that. And I got to thank my wife for that one, because she's the one that sets it all up. But that's
75 to your other 50%.
Yeah, she keeps me grounded, man. It's funny, but we have these conversations a lot. She's now a principal at her site, at her school.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so, she's in that. Obviously, she's in it more than I am in regards to real leadership, right? And but we always bounce things off of each other, books that we read or little podcasts or things that we listen to, because again, and when you're in a position of leadership, which I think coaching is, or education, educators are also, right? Like you're in charge of groups of young adults, that it's important that you keep yourself, trying to get better at your craft, because there's always something you can get better at, right? And she does a lot of that for us too, in our program. She's our coach mom that comes to games and comes to practices and checks on the boys. That's her counseling background. She was a counselor for so many years too, and before she got into administration. So, but it's a full circle for us, because I think it's important for me to be very vulnerable for our boys, right? Like, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and even though I'm coach and this and that, like somebody taught me how to be able to manage all of these different hats and responsibilities, right? And so, but I am very vulnerable in regards to that. I talk about family things with our team, because again, they're gonna be those men that are husbands and fathers, right? And so why not share some of those things with them? The success, even those things that happen that are unforeseen, right? And things in life. And but she's a part of our organization too. She does a lot of that. She checks on the boys, our basketball kids, a lot. And so they know that it's a family affair. It's all of us. It's not just me that
everybody's in.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of our motto, right? We use family a lot. We use family at Rubidoux a lot. And I stole that acronym, and I honestly can't remember now, because I use it at Sanji also, but I use that acronym, family. Forget about me, I love you, in regards to our personal model, right? It's not about me, it's about you. It's about my teammate. It's about, the coaches. It's about, the school. It's our program. It's never about me, being selfless. And so we say family a lot at Rubidoux, because our acronym, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing, and in order for us to get better, I'm talking in regards to not just players, but coaches. I have to care about what every choice I make and how it affects, whether it's good or bad, to my teammate and my coaches. And so we use the word family a lot at Rubidoux, and there's a meaning to it. It's about being selfless and caring about others and helping others and helping them to be better. So for us, it is a family. It's not just a Garcia family thing. It's a Rubidoux family thing, and I hope that it continues to grow in our community.
I think it's going to, and I really just want to take a minute and just appreciate for you for coming on here yet again. I know it's the first time for doing my own podcast. It's the same kind of thing, but just different. But I just want to appreciate because, like you said earlier on, I think we need more of this. I think we need, and it takes me back to when you guys did the whole COVID thing where you got hundreds of coaches together, Zoom thing, and just making sure not, you know, us as coaches were good, but as like a family, nobody knew anybody in that thing, and I only went to like 6 of them, between you and Dario who invited me and
Yeah,
before, but
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you on another note, for Rubidoux, honestly, I've been around a long time, so have you, but Rubidoux basketball is in a really good place right now, and it may not be this year, and it may not be next year, but I'm telling you, probably within the next 4 years, it's gonna be something really, really special. Keep
appreciate it.
keep doing that family thing, and those little things, a simple word that way is gonna take Rubidoux a long way. It really is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I get Dario's another really good one. I mean, you talk about a guy that started, from the Harupa area as a player and as a coach, and worked his way up now to a D1 assistant. Like, respects, and he's a great mentor also, right? A lot of things that we've done in the past together before he got big time, right? Before he got to D1 level, but we did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, coaching wise, doing shooting camps together, 10, 15 years ago, when I first took over at Sanji a long time ago. And so my first head coaching job. And, but again, it was that's another guy that just wants to master his craft and is an open book and sharing knowledge and giving knowledge and time and effort. Another kind of gym rat that just, he knows the gym is open. He stops by and gives, drills
Always,
or
yeah,
talks.
always.
And so he's just an amazing dude. So like, he's another guy that's been a big part of my journey in regards to my growth. And shout out to him, and they're doing a phenomenal job at Santa Barbara up there. So, but it's been amazing, man. Again, it's just sometimes you just don't know where things lead to and who you meet, and it happens to be somebody that has the same passion as you to get better and grow and be humble. And you kind of tend to attract that or be attracted to those kind of people. And then you just kind of grind, and I think, again, I've been lucky to have some of those people in my corner. So for many years now.
Well, good, man. Keep it up. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Any other
No,
part of your
no,
schedule?
no. I appreciate you doing this, man. RJ, no, it takes a lot, and getting again, like you mentioned, when we created that coaches hang time with Dario during COVID, it was just an idea, and we didn't know where it was going to go, and
That idea took off.
man, it was insane. I was just talking to that my assistant coaches about that, and about a week ago, we had a meeting and we're talking about, not being afraid of doing things kind of just one step at a time. And sometimes you don't know where it's going, but you
Building
got to go
something.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And where eventually things go the right way, and they do, and they did with Coach's Hang Time. It was amazing. And that was another thing, connected with so many people, the relationships. So many coaches that we had on that platform, I still talk to quite a bit now, texting.
Yeah.
I go catch games and watch. Yeah, it's. I mean, again, basketball has been such an amazing thing for journey for me, and on so many different levels, and staying in contact with a lot of these coaches that you watch on the weekends on TV, and you get to talk to, because you have you create those relationships with those people, and so, like, again, just an idea that two guys that were bored during COVID, and it just blew up like crazy, and we got to connect with a bunch of coaches throughout the world, on so many different levels. And so it was amazing. So yeah, no, you do an amazing job, RJ. Continue to do this and keep pushing forward, and let me know if there's anything that we can do and help with, and and provide with resources or whatever. And we thank you for always giving us love and support over at Rubidoux, and myself personally on my journey as a coach. Not just a great friend, but again, a great resource person to give out and talk hoops and talk life. So appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man. I'm like I said, really grateful again to do this with you. Maybe in another like 6 months or so, maybe we'll do something, catch up, whatever. More importantly than the podcast, just catching up, like you were saying before, is just humans and people and checking in. And I think that really is what I've made a focal point in the middle of last year was, I got to check in with some of my resources like you, Dario. I've been to like 3 or 4 Dario's games, which have been fantastic to see. I thought San Marcos was one level, but nope. This is a whole different ball game. Though it's just a lot faster, a lot more complex, but it's a beautiful thing to watch and just to see everything that he's taught me. We're talking about mentorship, and he's given me so many hours and so many nuggets, and I've used them and just from what he says and how and maybe even you have contribute them into a practice, into a game, have
Yeah,
maybe won or lost some of those games. So
yeah,
to all of you, to all of your hang time people, whoever might be listening, I appreciate all of you. Some of us may have not crossed paths yet, but maybe in the near future, more of us can, and we can do more of these like podcast settings and just talk life.
for sure, man. Thank you very much for having me, RJ, and have a happy New Year, man. Hope the
You
holidays have been
too,
great.
and enjoy your New Year. Enjoy the rest of your football day, and you got
Yeah,
what,
thank
2 more
you.
weeks off, right?
Yeah, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Yeah.
And that is going to wrap up another amazing one-on-one live podcast episode, first ever here on the Inner Champions podcast. I want to take the time to thank Pablo once again for reaching out, wanting and willing to do a podcast with me, virtually in a sense, but live at the same time. Recorded this live, and I just want to thank you again for all your time, all your mentorship, all your leadership, all your just watching you from afar, coach. Be a great coach to those athletes at Rubidoux High School here in the Inland Empire. And thank you for coming on, and hope to talk to you again soon. And thank the rest of you listeners for listening to the Inner Champions podcast. And we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate y'all.